Hello, good evening and welcome to News 9. We're live from our studios here at Northridge in Accra. My name is Kenneth. Jesse, here are stories making headlines tonight. Spare parts dealers at Abosokai divided over government's plan to relocate them to Afeniya, leveling vitriolic allegations against each other. We'll hear from both parties. Electricity Company of Ghana and the Ghana Water Company Limited justify proposed 148% and 334% increment in tariffs, assuring they will not adjust tariffs above 10% year-on-year for 5 years if approved. And coming up in business, inflation hits 23.6% for the month of April, the highest in 18 years. And later on the international front, 8 soldiers killed in attack by suspected terrorists in neighboring Togo. Details of these and many other stories coming up shortly. Stay with us. Welcome to the program. The Electricity Company of Ghana and the Ghana Water Company Limited have justified their proposed 148% and 334% increment in tariffs. According to the utility entities, if the proposals are approved, the companies will not adjust tariffs above 10% year-on-year for 5 years.
The PURC hosted all utility service providers and entities in the power production value chain here in Accra, together with stakeholders, for them to justify their proposals for increment in tariffs. While the Electricity Company of Ghana is proposing a 148% increment, the Ghana Water Company Limited is proposing a 334% and NEDCO is proposing 113%. The Ghana Grid Company, the Ghana National Petroleum Corporation, the Ghana National Gas Company, and the Volta River Authority, a 48, 67, 72, and 37% upward adjustment, respectively. All the aforementioned companies are blaming cost of production, among others, for their respective proposals, with some claiming they will struggle to stay afloat if their proposals are shut down or reduced drastically. The Electricity Company of Ghana has, however, given an assurance that future tariff adjustment will not exceed 10% should a Public Utility Regulatory Commission approve its pending proposal.
Currently, our target is 22.6. We also hope to achieve an operating margin of 10%, excluding our capacity charges. And we also would sustain the achievement we have made so far in terms of the benchmarks provided by our technical regulator. In terms of customer value, we hope to provide safe, quality, and reliable supply to all customers. We provide service connection to all customers within 5 days after payment, and we hope to achieve a 70% customer satisfaction index. Currently, our customer satisfaction index is 63.7.
Ghana Water Company Limited argues that technical and commercial losses also accounted for their 334% increase proposal.
I will only say that GWCF, by our own vision, we are competing with our peers in the sub-region. We are competing with National Water in Uganda. We are competing with Morocco. We want to be one of the best utilities in Africa. We need your support, morally, financially. Help us, and we will take GWC around.
All proposed increment by these entities will be looked into by the PURC and either approve or disapprove.
The procedure is same. The variables are the same, just as like I mentioned. At the end of the day, PURC will look at it, look at the investor interest, look at the interest of the consumer, look at the financial viability of the utilities, and then a determination will be made.
Henry Kwesi Bedu, Metro News, Accra.
Thank you very much, Henry. Now, with the proposed 334% increment in water tariffs, here's how much you are likely to pay. Let's show you on our video wall. So, with the old tariff, if you are paying 50 Ghana cedis prepare to pay 217 Ghana cedis. If you're paying 100 Ghana cedis, you're likely to pay 434 Ghana cedis if the proposal is approved. If you're paying 150 Ghana cedis, you're likely to pay 651 Ghana cedis. If you're paying 200 Ghana cedis, you're likely to pay 868 Ghana cedis. If you are paying 300 Ghana cedis, you're likely to pay 1,302 Ghana cedis. And if you are paying 500 Ghana cedis for water, you're likely to pay 2,170 Ghana cedis. If you used to pay 1,000 Ghana cedis per month for water, you're likely to pay 4,340 Ghana cedis. That is, if these proposed 334% tariff increment being requested by the Ghana Water Company Limited is approved. And let's look at how the cost of living has skyrocketed. So if you are an average worker that earns 1,500 Ghana cedis, and assuming you live in Kaswa and work at Northridge, you begin your day by picking trotro from Domiabra to Kaswa, which is 4 Ghana cedis, 50 pesos. There's been no change in the fare. From Kaswa, you pick one to Circle. The old fare used to be 6 Ghana cedis, 50 pesos. Now you have to pay 7 Ghana cedis, 80 pesos. From Circle to Northridge, the old fare used to be 2 Ghana cedis, 30 pesos. Now you'll have to pay 3 Ghana cedis. So, on a daily basis, in and out, you pay 30 Ghana cedis, 60 pesos for transport. On a weekly basis, you are likely to pay 153 Ghana cedis for transport. On a monthly basis, you're likely to pay 600 Ghana cedis, 612 Ghana cedis. So you'll be left with 888 Ghana cedis out of your salary of 1,500 Ghana cedis. Now, let's assume that you eat once when you go to work. So you spend 10 Ghana cedis on lunch every day. You're going to spend 50 Ghana cedis every week. And on a monthly basis, you're going to spend 200 Ghana cedis on lunch while at work. You'll be left with 680 Ghana cedis out of your 1,500 Ghana cedis salary. Now, average amount spent on utility, if you live alone, you're likely to pay 65 Ghana cedis for light, 40 Ghana cedis for water, and you'll be left with 575 Ghana cedis. Note that these expenses include or exclude rent, breakfast and dinner, airtime, data bundle, school fees, that is if you're a parent or a guardian, and other personal expenses. And those figures are quite difficult to watch, and you can do the math if you earn less than that. Let's bring you some more stories as the national chairman of the Coalition of NGOs in Health, Bright, Mr. Nyako, has predicted an increase in communicable diseases if the newly approved tariffs is approved. According to him, an increase in tariffs will lead to the use of unwholesome water. He encouraged the Ghana Water Company Limited to cut commercial losses.
This week, the Ghana Water Company proposed 334% increase in water tariffs, while the Electricity Company of Ghana proposed a 148% increase in electricity tariffs. This has since caused an uproar and started a lot of conversations among stakeholders, including consumers. Adding to the ongoing conversation is the Coalition of NGOs in Health. Speaking during a phone interview, the national chairman of the Coalition of NGOs in Health, Bright Nyako, predicted a rise in communicable diseases, a phenomenon he said Ghana has not experienced in the previous years.
We foresee that there's going to be a high incidence of communicable diseases across the country, which we have not experienced for the past year because of the hand washing and the various protocols we are observing due to COVID. Then there could also be high cost of productivity of pharmaceutical products. You know, pharmacies use a lot of water in producing all the medicines and then products that we use. and because there is going to be an increase in cost of water, they are going to add on that cost to these products.
He suggested that the Ghana Water Company intensifies their efforts to cut losses accrued through illegal connections.
We wish that they look at how they can close the gaps on the various leakages across the main the commercialized activities they do in general. One, and in so doing, this is the time they have to scout around to look at who is using water and is not paying, and how can we get those people on their bills or block them from using without paying. Then how we can directly look at people who provide healthcare services, and then probably give them some percentages of that particular increase in tariff.
He appealed to the government to negotiate with the Ghana Water Company so as to prevent a sudden rise in COVID-19 cases.
Away from utilities, spare parts dealers at Abosokai are divided over government's plan to relocate them to Afeniya, leaving and leveling allegations against each other. Mother Union of the dealers, the Abosokai Spare Parts Dealers Association, is backing the drive by the Greater Accra Security Council for relocation, whilst an emergent group, the National Concerned Spare Parts Dealers Association, is kicking against it.
The National Concerned Spare Parts Dealers Association of Abosokai says the current leadership of its mother union, the Abosokai Spare Parts Dealers Association, is in bed with the government and are trying everything to remove them from their privately owned property to destroy their businesses. They say they will resist any attempt to move them to Afeniya because the location is not prime for their businesses and will make them worse off. A leader of the group, Richard Obeng, spoke to Metro News.
Looking at the crowd over here, this is the crowd that the people of Abosokai Spare Parts Association use them, that they have about 8,000 people that registered yesterday, which of course it wasn't true. The people are here, and I want you to hear from the horse's own mouth. They are lying. Our leaders already, they've lied to us, and they are continuing to lie. That they had about 2,500 people in Abosokai who are ready to move to Afeniya. What we are saying is that the people of Abosokai, we are not ready to move to Afeniya.
Some other spare parts dealers who are in support of the Concerned Spare Parts Dealers Association also spoke on the issue.
The reason why we are saying our leaders are betraying us is that they ask them a question. When we live here to Afeniya, what are they going to do with the building? The answer, the person, one of the leaders says that we will find other means to do business in the building. You understand? Our leader that we have elected, for them to lead us, they are lying.
Abosokai omutu kokoma fono. I don't know what they are. It was some who are free and call Afeniya. Maybe Sukura. Maybe free Sukura and call Afeniya. Obiti Kaswa, over country, Kaswa, and Mexico Afeniya.
Meanwhile, the public relations officer of the Abosokai Spare Parts Dealers Association, Eric Autry, says the move is for their own good because it will help them expand their businesses in the near future. He added that the National Concerned Spare Parts Dealers Association of Abosokai consists of few selfish people fighting fruitlessly against a good initiative.
No one has deceived anyone. The point is that they are not trying to understand reality. We've had several meetings with them, several engagements with them, considering this particular issue. And then the point here is that this is a situation that there are challenges in the enclaves in which we are working. We shouldn't be so selfish and be thinking of the structures that probably they've put down here. And they sit here and talk that they've invested and they've invested here. People too have invested elsewhere.
Meanwhile, the chiefs and residents of Afeniya say government failed to consult them before proceeding to announce that their community will be converted to an automotive hub. They say although the project is a laudable one, government may fail if proper stakeholder engagements and consultations are not done.
The Greater Accra Regional Minister announced plans by government to establish a West African automotive hub at Afeniya in the Ngo district of the Greater Accra region. The project would include the relocation of spare parts dealers at Aboseo to Afeniya. The chiefs and the people of Afeniya say they have not been engaged on the upcoming project. The chief of Afeniya, Nenetete Afutu III, spoke to Metro News.
Chiefs, this is what we are going to do. But in the air, if you are hearing this on air, we don't take it so seriously. But we are traditional areas. An institution known by the government. You see, traditional councils are being created by government. So we should be in the known. So that, Afeniya chief, Dawanya chief, Prampran chief, come. All the documents that were signed for the Bank of Ghana, they are all there. They are all there with them.
He revealed the land where the project will be sited is being contested by the traditional authorities. They are asking for the release of the land, which they say government has acquired without compensation.
Bank of Ghana came to acquire the lands from the individual traditional councils or the traditional authorities, namely Prampran Traditional Council, Shire Traditional Council, and then the Ngo Traditional Councils. So when I heard the publication about 2 years ago, I don't know what is happening. Until last year, when I heard that, I heard the regional minister saying that they are bringing the Aboso industrial area to Afeniya here. Yes, it is a laudable idea. But as the custodian of the land here, nobody came to me. I have never heard of this.
The assemblyman for the Afeniya electoral area, Habib Mohammed, also said the assembly has not been engaged on the project.
You know, such a project, mostly before it will come, they have to make stakeholders engagement so that we know what is happening. I know maybe they are about to do that thing. They should engage all the various stakeholders. If I say the stakeholder, the district assembly, we are in the, I believe where the whole project will come, it will be in between the two district assembly. Okay. Then we go from Prampran district assembly and then the Shire district assembly. As at now, whereby I know when you go to the district assembly, you ask, they say they are not aware about it. It's only something which they are now, it will come before they are, before them. So we are waiting to hear from them and see whether maybe they inform them something about it.
Let's now take you to the central region where residents of Mankasim in the region were in the early hours of Wednesday, May 11, 2022, gripped with fear after discovering a lifeless male body at Trafo Ahimbronum. The incident brings the number of suspected crime-related deaths in the area to 4.
I heard this morning that some people had died, so I went with a few others to verify this information. When I got there, I saw a body lying dead for about 4 to 5 days. That is what I saw this morning. I called the assemblyman, police, and the chief to witness the scene.
We get scared when we send our children. When we are even in our homes, we are scared. We cannot even go to church in the evening. We plead with the police of Mankasim to come to our aid. We also plead with the government to do something about it.
We are all here to investigate. The police are also here to investigate. I am not happy about the issue. It could happen to anybody. We need security and safety in this community. We plead with the chiefs of this town to take precaution because of what has been happening here of late. The people of Magasim here do not know what is happening. What is going on is serious. The police should also do something about it. The head of the police should do something.
Mama police.
We heard this morning that someone had died. Immediately, we informed the police. The deceased is an elderly man. He will be about 30 to 40 years.
Now, Bema, Bema, on 30-40.
From the central region, let's take you to the northern part of the country where 5 persons have been arrested by the Boko Divisional Police Command in the Upper East region in connection with renewed ethnic disturbances that have claimed the lives of 4 persons. Even though the police are yet to unravel the cause of the disturbances, sporadic gunshots were heard among ethnic groups in Boko on Monday, May 9, 2022. However, on Tuesday, May 10, 2022, 4 persons were shot dead. You're still watching News 9 here on Metro Television. We'll go for a quick break. We'll be back with more. Hello again. The National Health Insurance Authority has responded to claims by a ranking member on the Health Committee that government is collapsing the scheme. The authority says the collections of the National Health Insurance levies into the Consolidated Fund occur over a period and therefore releases into the fund may be delayed sometimes. The authority continued that in the allocation formula approved by Parliament of Ghana on April 5, 2022, an amount of 1.3 billion Ghana cedis was duly referenced as the total amount released by the Ministry of Finance into the fund within the year 2021, according to the National Health Insurance Authority. Per their claims payment arrangement, the scheme will always be in arrears to its service providers. The authority concluded that it will be quite erroneous to state emphatically that they owe 2.5 billion Ghana cedis to providers for claims submitted for March 2022. Let's bring you more stories as the Minister for Lands and Natural Resources, Samuel Abujinapo, has underscored the need for African countries with natural resources to conduct effective business negotiations with investors to realize sustainable agreements to benefit their countries greatly. He said this at a 4-day conference on African mining in Cape Town, South Africa.
Experts in the extractive industry have converged in Cape Town, South Africa for a 4-day conference which seeks to address new approaches, spark progress conversation, and encourage partnerships to transform mining on the African continent. Representing Ghana is the Minister for Lands and Natural Resources, Samuel Abujinapo, speaking on how citizens can benefit immensely from their country's natural resources. He urged African leaders to negotiate favorable terms.
It's extremely important when it comes to getting properly negotiated agreements. And then when the operations come into being, how the process, the royalties, the taxes are utilized also is a major issue. I think we should be truthful to ourselves that historically, African governments and African countries have not done well on both sides. We haven't negotiated properly. We haven't built the capacity. You are negotiating with a conglomerate. You are negotiating with a big company, and you cannot even marshal the right expertise of accountants, of financial people, and so on. So that part of it is extremely important when it comes to getting properly negotiated agreements.
He further mentioned government's unending quest to ensure value addition on all raw materials in the country.
Program, a short to medium to long-term program, which will ensure that we add value to these minerals. Gold, for example, as you know, Ghana is the #1 leading producer of gold in Africa, and they sit in the world.
And so the whole value chain of that industry, from exploration, prospecting, to mining, to refinery, to the downstream industries, all of those are matters that we are planting in. So is it for iron and steel, so is it for bauxite, where in fact, by act of parliament, we are insisting that within 5 years after the promulgation of the law, no raw bauxite can be exported out of Ghana.
The 4-day conference on African mining is dubbed African Mining in Durban.
Away from that, Vice President Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia has urged the University of Ghana Business School to embrace technology to build on competitive advantage. Speaking at the launch of the 60th anniversary of the University of Ghana Business School in Accra, he charged the university to equip students with 21st century skills of critical thinking and entrepreneurship.
The University of Ghana came into existence by an executive instrument EI 127 by the government of Ghana, Accra, in January 1960. It was then known as College of Administration and situated on Western Campus of Achimota School. The University of Ghana Business currently runs undergraduate and postgraduate programs. Before 2004, the school had only 4 departments. It was after 2004 that the school was departmentalized into 6 departments. The 60 years anniversary is on the theme Reflecting Business Education in Ghana. Reflecting on the 60-year experience of the University of Ghana Business School, Vice President Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia represented the President and charged the university to lead the change in churning out students with their requisite skills.
Have the opportunity to expose your students to artificial intelligence and help them explore big data and the Internet of Things to help position them as global citizens. With technology, the faculty should find different ways to actively engage students, experiential learning, game-based learning, and problem-based learning to help impart soft skills such as autonomy, creativity, leadership, and effective collaboration.
Education Minister Dr. Yao Educhum commended the school for its work.
You are celebrating many years of great accomplishment. I think your history has been told from your humble beginnings at the Kumasi College of Technology in 1952 to your relocation to Achimota as College of Administration and finally as School of Administration in Legon. And now your accomplishments are there for all to see. You've talked about some famous alumni and people who have done some great things in our society. You also took credit for the fact that you have a number of people in Parliament.
The Dean of the University of Ghana Business School, Professor Justice Bawole, congratulated faculty and staff for work done.
With the development of management education and across the world, the name, the School of Administration, was changed in 2004 to the University of Ghana Business School. So really, our heritage has Kumasi, Achimota, and Legon, and we are proud of all of it. Your Excellency, I wish to pay tribute to our gallant forebears who have sacrificed to grow our school for the past 60 years.
Speech read on behalf of the Vice-Chancellor by Professor Felix Ankoma Asante said, the school is a unique brand within the SAP.
Yes, the University of Ghana Business School has worked tirelessly to shape and continues to shape the business environment in Ghana and beyond. A cursory look at business environment, and it immediately becomes clear that most business executives and persons in top management position for most organizations in Ghana are products of the University of Ghana Business School. And the dean started with a tall list, and I know there are a lot of them. Even though you are claiming the commercial bank MD, he's also an alumni of Faculty of Agriculture and my classmates.
In other news, Huawei Ghana, in partnership with other telecommunications giants like Vodafone Ghana, has launched a livelihood empowerment against poverty program to make available to students and other young people promising ICT opportunities in Ghana. Students present have the opportunity to complete their ICT training and are being incorporated in different industries through the job fair, which attracted top-notch countries in the country.
Since entering the Ghanaian market in 2005, Huawei has created over 1,000 direct jobs and 50,000 indirect jobs for individuals on the ICT value chain. Their main key focus is to grow Ghana's ICT talent when the Ghana ICT Academy was introduced in 2017. Over 60,000 Ghanaians have received ICT training and digital literacy so far. The launch of the LEAP program brings all Huawei ICT initiatives under one umbrella for greater impact. Minister for Communication and Digitalization, Honorable Ursula Owusu-Ekufo, says the initiative by Huawei is one that will propel youth to be abreast with ICT skills and also make them fit for the job market.
So I'm glad that in addition to giving our young people cutting-edge ICT instruction in emerging technologies, which Huawei is doing through its ICT Academy and the Seeds for the Future program, they've gone a step further to set up this job fair, which is bringing various industry players and captains of industry here to look at the skills that are available in the young people that have already been trained and to hire and engage them in their jobs. And the end of skills acquisition is job acquisition, employment creation. So it's not just our young people acquiring the skills simpliciter, but to use that to get sustainable, well-paying jobs in the industry.
Deputy Minister for Education, Honorable John Intim-Fajo, also stressed the need for ICT education in schools and how it will affect students and the job market positively.
ICT is one of the key skills when any employer wants to look out for someone to employ. They want to be sure that you are sound digitally. They want to see how proficient you are in ICT. And that is why we at Ministry of Education are so keen ensuring that every child receives the skills, that ICT does not just become a course where children will sit and will be marked whether they've passed or they failed, but it must become ingrained in them. It must become a skill that every learner must have from the lowest level, the early grades, up to the highest level. ICT must become a core part of the skills that we are imparting into our people. We are also collaborating with Huawei in rolling out some ICT facilities in many of our public schools, all to ensure that every child that schools in Ghana, and in particular in our public schools, gets the competitive ICT skills that will make them very confident in competing with any other person in any other part of the world for equal opportunities.
A beneficiary of the LEAP program is encouraging all youth and students to partake in ICT programs to acquire the necessary skills to face employment challenges.
Digital space is growing very fast, and then the technical skills needed are actually growing smaller and smaller, as in the skill sets needed is actually growing large, but then the talent is actually smaller. So I'll just encourage anyone out there who finds any little interest in technology, just take it up, especially in school. When opportunities like this come around, just do your best to take it up and then study. And I'm sure you'll do good.
Don't go anywhere, because we have more stories for you coming up after the break. It's now time for business, and Winston Taki has all the latest, including the latest inflation figures. Winston?
Yes, Ken. Thanks, Ken. Bring you more updates on that, and also Ghana's inflationary trend from month of January to April 2022 right after this. And now to our first business story. The latest data from the Statistics Service shows that inflation has hit 23.6% for the month of April, the highest in 18 years. This was 4.2 percentage points higher than the 19.4% recorded in March 2022.
The economic expansion this year will likely fall short of government forecast as soaring inflation reduces private sector consumption and investment.
Inflation for April 2022 stood at 23.6% relative to the 19.4% that was recorded for the month of March 2022. From a regional perspective, Central Region recorded the highest rate of inflation of 26.7%, and the Upper East Region recorded the least rate of inflation of 18.4%.
The second biggest West African economy is projected to expand by 5% in 2022, according to Bloomberg estimates, compared with government's projection of 5.8%.
Now, let's take you through data with regards to how the inflationary trend has been for the past 6 months, started from January this year to the month of April. That was recorded just today, and that was for 23.6%. So if you look from January, we recorded a 13.9% inflation, with February having 15.77%, and also March 19.7%, with the latest release from the Statistical Service of 23.6%. Now we'll look at data with regards to items that was recorded on the inflationary trend. Totally 13 items was recorded, but this time we are looking at some few of them. Grapes, which mostly are imported, recorded at 101.9% inflation, with diesel, which last week we projected that certainly there was going to be an increase. So the Statistical Service deduced that the 90.9% increase is what we see at the pumps anytime you buy diesel. Avocado pear was also recorded at 89.2% inflation, with petrol, normally, as you already know, recorded at 73.25%. And on bushmeat, which most people enjoy at chop bars, recorded a 66.9% inflation. With corn dough, which yesterday I spoke with one trader. She said she buys a bowl of corn dough, an amount of 3,000 Ghana cedis. Usually it was 2,000 Ghana cedis. Just a week difference, the price has increased. So the figures recorded is 54.1% on that. Okra, which is fresh, mostly Banku normally goes with okra, so recorded a 62.5% inflationary figure to that effect. Let's look at the last slide. I think that'll do for now, but let's speak with some data in regards to what an economist said on inflation. Meanwhile, economist and partner at CCAD Global, Emmanuel Amar Dakwa, has attributed the rising inflation to global goods supply challenges as well as increasing cost of fuel on the domestic market.
External factors. The Russia-Ukraine war has led to disruption in supply chains, both in the food value chain and also in crude oil value chain. The monetary policy rate hike has led to some marginal increase in interest rates, which is also feeding into the prices of goods and services. Again, the reversal of the benchmark values have also led to some marginal inflation figures going up. As the data shows, inflation for imported items is 24.7%, which is even higher than the main inflation figure for the month of April. So it is going to be a very expensive for businesses and also for households. As you can see, once inflation figure is going up, it reduces the purchasing power of individuals and also of corporations. And so this is going to lead to purchasing power being reduced as a result of the high prices of goods and services being recorded on the market. I foresee that in the coming month or the next 2 months, when the Monetary Policy Committee meets, they might want to hike again monetary policy rate. But this is also going to have an adverse effect on the lending rate we have in our economy. We have to look at what we can do domestically, solving our domestic problems, i.e. having import substitution, industrialization, so that we'll be able to cushion ourselves of these external volatility.
President Akufo-Addo says there is the need for African Development Bank to mobilize enough resources to finance projects on the continent instead of relying on the World Bank for support. Speaking to a delegation from the AFB at the Jubilee House, the president said once the capital base of the regional bank expanded, it will be better positioned to lead Africa's development.
Achieving climate resilience and a just energy transition for Africa will be the theme for this year's annual meeting of the African Development Bank. Reports indicate that energy sector bottlenecks and recurrent power cuts are costing annually an equivalent of 2 to 4% of Africa's GDP. This impedes job creation, industrialization, and investment. The meeting will therefore focus on the need to tackle the challenges of climate change and electricity deficits on the continent. A delegation from the African Development Bank, led by its group president, Dr. Akinwumi Adesina, visited the Jubilee House to officially invite President Akufo-Addo to the upcoming event.
Since its establishment, the African Development Fund has provided financing of $45 billion to low-income countries and fragile states. And as you know, Mr. President, Ghana is an African Development Fund country beneficiary. At this year's annual meetings, the bank will be making a very strong case for the African Development Fund's 16th replenishment and for the African Development Fund to be allowed to use its equity to go to the market to leverage more resources for African countries. Dear Mr. President, your personal advocacy on this, along with other heads of state and government, will be absolutely critical.
President Akufo-Addo stressed the need to widen the bank's capital base.
But I think that the presence of all of these fellow leaders in Africa, gives us an opportunity to make a really big case about the need to mobilize more resources for you and for the ADF. At the heart of the matter, that's for me the most critical issue. The statement that the World Bank gives more money, finances more activities than the regional financial institutions like the ADF on our continent is not a comforting one. I think that in the best of all possible worlds, we should be in the lead and that the World Bank supports, but not the other way around.
The annual general meeting of the African Development Bank will be held in Accra from 23rd to 27th May 2022.
That'll be all for business here on Newsnight. My name is Winston Taki. Ken is standing by for the rest of the bulletin. Ken?
Thank you very much, Winston. After the break, Phil John Corte will be here with the latest in sports. Stay with us.
Welcome back. My name is Phil John Corte. Some ex-Ghana internationals are calling upon the leadership of the Ghana Football Association to give equal opportunities to players as the country prepares for the 2022 World Cup to be staged in Qatar. Prince Tego and Yapreko has been speaking to a section of the media on the issue.
Good, they are Ghanaians, but I think everybody that wants to play for the national team needs to do his own justify. Right now we have qualification coming, AFCON, right? So they should invite them to start playing, and we'll see if they can fit into the team. Why not?
We shouldn't wait for somebody to tell us, I'm only in for the World Cup. No, come and play the qualifier. Let's see what you can bring on board. And then at the final day, we sit down, and then I don't know how many players will be going for this World Cup. If a player is bluffing, why do we have to call him? You know, we players are there, and when we want to find them, you can find them. A player thinks he's not ready for the national team. Somebody is telling me he doesn't feel real Ghanaian, and all of a sudden he wants to play the World Cup. Then if you play the World Cup, that's when you're going to feel like, what if after the World Cup he decided not to come again? We still have AFCON to play. So if the person said, I don't feel real Ghanaian, I feel like, so you should give that mandate to somebody else, and now he wants to play. Then what is you want to use the World Cup to better himself? No. We should, those who bluff in, unless they have a genuine excuse, unless they have a genuine excuse. I've not spoken to any of them, but if it's true about bluffing, I don't think we have to entertain that.
Meanwhile, the ex-captain of the senior national team, the Black Stars, Asamajan, has called on the football fraternity to offer the necessary support to the Black Stars as they prepare for the 2022 World Cup.
Is going there to prove a point, to win a cup. So that makes it very, very interesting. So we have to just go there with a final squad, which there are a lot of speculations, a lot of players, even outside, trying to switch nationality and everything. You might not know. You might not know. It looks like we are not going to see all the players who play the qualifiers. You might not know. So the most important is, as we Ghanaians, we have to just support the Black Stars and make sure they deliver. That's it.
Well, that's it for sports. My name is Phil John Quote. Studio is standing by for the latest in showbiz, my dear.
Thank you, Phil. It's time for entertainment news. My name is Afeniya Afeniya. Multiple award-winning gospel artist Ohima Mercy recounts her first nominations on Ghana Music Awards.
I didn't even know I was nominated. So there's this woman of God that bought tickets for me. So I went to the auditorium. I couldn't find a place to sit. And so I was sitting at the back, far away. Okay. And amazingly, I saw that my picture and my video were being played. And when I come on, then you see me shouting. But then, after that, I realized that I was part of the people that were nominated. And I was so excited. Being nominated alone, yes. It's like you share heaven, and it actually gave me that strength to do more. And I felt like coming out with your first album and you've been nominated in 9 categories. Yeah. Wow. I actually did not receive any award, but I was so happy and fulfilled that the message that God gave to me is really had impact on the lives of people, and people are falling in love with the ministry. That was the first step into coming out with lots of albums, and by the grace of God here.
Well, she also shared her thoughts on how female gospel artists are to put themselves out there.
You have the power to choose everything, but what do you represent? If you will know what you represent, then you have to know what to wear and what not to wear. Looking beautiful is excellent. Even Christ loves it. But too much of everything is bad. Sometimes we are not saying you should not put on makeup, but there's a way that you put on makeup that echo overboard cry. So it's good, like you make up moderate and look good. Putting on makeup is not a bad thing at all. It's good.
11th May marks exactly 41 years since the passing of reggae legend Bob Marley. Bob Marley died in 1981 at the age of 36 after battling cancer. Until his death, he was the king of reggae and was a giant icon of Jamaican music across the world. He formed the Bob Marley and Wailers Band and released hit songs throughout his short life, including Three Little Birds, Buffalo Soldier, Jamming, One Love, among other hit songs. His musical influence is still lives and also ranks 11 on the greatest artists of all time chart. But that's it for entertainment news. My name is Afeniya Afeniya. Kenneth?
Thank you very much, Afeniya. International news is next. Eight soldiers have been killed and 13 wounded in an attack in northern Togo on Wednesday, the government has announced. This marks potentially the first deadly raid on its territory by Islamist militants who have claimed thousands of lives in neighboring countries. Three men in Malawi have been each sentenced by a high court to 115 years in jail for killing a person with albinism. Aged 44, 45, and 71, they were found guilty after they confessed to the murder of a 23-year-old albino man in January this year. One of those sentenced was the man's uncle. My name is Kenneth Jesse. Thank you very much for watching. Good night.